Week one, what are your impressions of
Like always, good, bad, ugly. Some really good things, some good plays by kids, some good execution, and then the bad, like always, busted assignments. And when you quit on plays, that's the ugly. As long as you don't quit on a play, you can make up for it and maybe get the guy down and go to the next set of series. But it's about like expected, putting a lot of stuff in. The offense puts a lot of stuff in, and it's just kind of guys messing up because they haven't seen something before. But that's just all part of it.
Let's talk a little bit about the cornerback position where Corey Couch fits in. I think he's playing on the outside.
Yeah, he's playing on the outside as well. We're going to move him, start playing him a little bit of nickel on tomorrow. So he hasn't played a lot of nickel yet, star position, but he'll start playing some of the more. The Richard kid, we end up leaving him at the corner for a couple of days. He's doing really well, along with the Brown brothers, both of them. So we got a lot of choices to choose from. And also the Davis kid is playing the star position, probably the best right now. So it's been good. Have a lot of different guys we can plug and play, which is awesome.
Up front, I want to ask about Nigel Kelly. You're smiling, which is a good sign for him. Has he stood out already a little bit?
It's been a bunch of guys stood out up front. A bunch of guys getting to the quarterback. Today was one of our better days of stopping the run, which is non-negotiable. You got to be able to stop the run better than we did today. But yeah, they're getting after it. I think we're rushing the passer really well for the most part, playing the run well. Today just wasn't a good day for us.
Coach, building off of that, the young guys, Ruben Bain, Jaden Wayne, Bain really impressed in that spring game. What have your thoughts been of these freshmen, coming in so far, and how have they done so?
Bain is consistent against the run and pass. Of course, he's still got a lot to learn, but I expect him to play a lot. Jaden Wayne, it's up and down, plays like a freshman, of course. But he's done some good things as well. Najaleek's still young as well. So that's the three young guys that really stand out, that'll be deep in the rotation of the starters.
James and Cam are obviously starting safeties. They're both great players. What do you see from the safeties behind them?
Kind of up and down. Harris has had a really good camp so far. He's got a couple interceptions. He probably plays the ball the best. I think Keith Williams probably knows the defense a little bit better than he does right now. But Harris has made a bunch of plays already, which is good to see.
Coach, you said today, not necessarily your best day run-wise. Was it big runs?
No, not against the run.
Yeah,
we had some big runs. A couple of times we got cut out of some gaps, really because we wasn't attacking the blocks. And then sometimes they got on the perimeter. They kind of cut the DB out of the run fit, and that can't happen. So, but good for the offense. They've been struggling a little bit at times running the ball. Today was a good day for them, which was awesome. You want that. You want a back-and-forth battle. You don't want it to be one way or the other. But when you look at film, you can tell if it's a busted assignment. If it's not a busted assignment and they just whip you on the block, then that's a good thing.
What is the biggest thing you're able to identify when you're not in full pads as a defense? I know being physical is so important, but when you're not in full pads, what are the things you're evaluating in practice?
Well, it's just hard to evaluate how good of a tackling team you are. You have to get in there and have good posture as you play, have your pads down and all that. But until you start taking people to the ground, you really don't know if you're a good tackling team yet. So, and we're not going to get a lot of that. We'll have some scrimmages, which will be live, of course. And then you go in the first game and you just got to tackle. Well, you got to get a bunch of numbers to the football. If you got a bunch of guys running hard, playing hard, getting to the ball, you usually tackle well.
How was the competition between KJ Boyd and Wesley?
Oh, it's a competition all in that backer role, And we've been plugging and playing a bunch of different guys. So as we get into full pads and get a little bit further along and start installing more, they'll probably start to separate themselves. Because in the course of a game, things change. So you got to identify plays and you got to rely on past experiences. And that's where probably KJ is probably going to, catch up or beat some of the guys because he's just played a lot of reps. Corey Flagg's playing really well. In the spring, he had a little bit of foot injury. He wasn't moving around well, but he's probably, out of all of them, probably looked the best in the fall compared to the spring. He's had probably the biggest improvement, but the foot was holding him back in the spring. But Kiko is still playing really well.
Defense-wise, you obviously play a lot different style than what they were used to last year. You got it in the spring and all that. I was curious, do you feel like you can run anything you want at this point, or is it still what percent can you run right now that you'd be really comfortable, hey, they all know what to do on this play?
We're probably at about 75% of what we put in, but we're going to keep adding and just throw it all on the wall and see what sticks and then see what they do best. Is it blitzing? Is it sitting there playing man free? Is it sitting there playing zone? Right now, it looks like they like the pressure. They like to disrupt, which is so different than last year. So I think they're more comfortable when they're attacking and not sitting there waiting. But we'll see. And sometimes it depends on who you play and what you want to do. So, but it looks like blitzing them and getting them started is what they like to do.
When we talked to Jafari a couple days ago, he mentioned playing the jack role. Just what is that? Can you explain more about that role in your defense?
Jack is more of the end that does a lot of dropping. He's a pass rusher, but he does play the run. But it's really built for more athletic defensive ends. The ones to the field is kind of the big guys. They got to play a 4-eye a little bit, and that's where Mesidor and all those guys are at. Bang, that's where he plays. But Najalik and then all the rest of the guys, that's where they play. The slender guys.
The D-line been talking a lot about movement, right? Mm-hmm. I'm curious, just generally speaking, is that pre-snap movement, post-snap? Like, is it
both?
Something?
Both. We try to change up protections for the offense and run schemes by going from a 4 down to an odd to a 4 down. We haven't got to bear yet. We're gonna get in bear, and then from that, when the ball snap, moving and stunning. So it's a lot on the offense, a lot on offensive linemen for protection, and I think that's why they probably cut a couple guys loose at times, but really not trying to get anybody to jump off sides, just trying to change up the rules and then moving right back to maybe where it came from. So doing as much as we can just to confuse the linemen and the quarterback.
Coach, how do you think the freshman linebackers are coming along so far as fall?
It's a lot for them. It's a lot. Each play and each day is a different thing for them because they're trying to learn what we're doing, but then offense, they're trying to adjust to college football. And then they're seeing all that stuff on the other side of them. It's just hard for young freshmen and linebacker and safeties to play because that's the brain trust of the defense, and you gotta make all the checks and you gotta be right, so it takes a little time. We won't know about them which one will be able to help us yet.
How has Demari's first week at this level been?
At times it looks like he's been here a while, and at other times he looks like a true freshman. So both Brown boys are doing well. They both have the same demeanor. They don't get too up, too down, which is good at the corner. You don't want them too emotional, but they both have great intangibles. The older Brown kid runs really fast. He's really fast. The other one's probably moves probably a little better in and out of breaks, but they're both tall and big corners, which you want.